Go to the next question real fast. Basically, I'll do a really quick setup on this. This is also, again, about alcohol. This is about two cities, and they're in the alcohol harms study, Hermosa Beach and Manhattan Beach. In the alcohol harms study, Hermosa Beach had double the crime, double the violent crime of Manhattan Beach. And then for the last 4 years, according to the FBI uniform crime reporting system, Hermosa had double the number of rapes. So for the last 4 years on a per capita basis, double, and almost double the number of aggravated assaults. And what's interesting about the alcohol harms outlet study, they're both cities are ranked high in alcohol outlets. So you have two very similar cities, very close to each other. They both have a lot of alcohol outlets, but we have double the number of rapes and almost double the number of alcohol or aggravated assaults. I'll read the question. Numerous crime research studies have Hermosa Beach ranked as having higher rates of violent crime than comparable cities listed in the research reports. In particular, Hermosa Beach appears to have a higher crime rate for rape and aggravated assault compared to Manhattan Beach. To what do you attribute these higher rates of crime in Hermosa Beach and not in the other comparable cities? Matt.
Thank you, Al. First and foremost, since we're talking about compared to Manhattan Beach has 3 times the budget that we have and less than half, double the population that we have. So it's really, when it comes down to it, it's about resources and police resources. The second issue is visitors. They probably have a higher volume of visitors to the city, and also we have to look at the socioeconomics of the people that are coming in. Compared to Palos Verdes or Ranchos Palos Verdes, you're not seeing those types of people go visit because there's not a venue for them to go visit. So, and the third issue would be a lack of aggressive prosecution.
Okay, Matt. Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, since we've spoken so much, I think I'll try to be additive here with my comment. I think it's more than just resources, actually. I think there's this reputational dynamic that, I wasn't here, I don't think at the time, but I've been told by many people that the party town has moved from beach town to beach town over the longer history. So for example, there were bikers once that used to hang out in Hermosa. I don't know when that was. There was a real big party scene in Manhattan at one point. Maybe some of the people who've lived here 37 years, right? can fill us in on that a little bit more. But I just think that you also hear a lot that, well, let me finish one thing. Manhattan Beach deliberately made decisions in order to turn that situation around. That's what I've been told more than a couple of times. I hear all over the place, I want to be very clear, that I am not interested at all in Hermosa Beach turning into Manhattan Beach. It's very different. The layout's different. I think that's actually one of our challenges. Pier Plaza is very, there it is. But I think there's a way to retain the Hermosa character that we all love, that is very quaint and very unique, and it's just very, very special, and still turn this boat, Titanic? Boat, hopefully not a Titanic. Turn this boat around just a little bit, and so we can reach for a downtown that our entire community can enjoy, can stay up late, can drink maybe a little bit too much, and feel very safe to be there doing that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Haney?
So the question is, what do you attribute the higher rates of violent crime in Hermosa and not in other comparable cities like Manhattan? I think part of it at Manhattan Beach, they like to drink single malt scotch, and here in Hermosa we like to drink tequila, and I think that may increase the violent issues. But I think that the report that you're giving us, Al, is a little bit difficult to make a clear comparison. There's only 2 cities that are involved, and again, the type of people and the business are completely different, so it's hard for us to make a conclusion of why it is that Hermosa Beach has a higher rate of violent crime, and the resources issue is something that was raised and clearly as part of the process. What we've also heard from our police chief and police captain is that AB 109 and Proposition 47 have resulted in a lot of people being out of jail. sooner than they should be, and therefore obviously may be part of the increasing the crime rate. But as far as our resources that we have, and we go through this every year in budget allocation, about 60% of our entire city budget is spent on public safety. So it's not like we are taking this lightly. It's not like we're saying, well, it's okay, we have violent crimes in downtown, we'll just let it be. In addition to the police and fire folks that we have, we've also hired the additional private company to facilitate in this process. And I think as maybe already mentioned by others, part is based on my going through with our police officers on those ride-alongs, a lot of the reasons for a lot of our violent crimes, especially late at night on the weekends, are visitors, not residents of the city of Hermosa Beach, because when they arrest them and they look through the records, they realize most of these people do not live in the city of Hermosa Beach. So additional enforcement would help, but again, I think we're using the resources that we have in the best way that we can, and looking forward to additional recommendations that will come to the council soon that hopefully we can incorporate and implement.
Thanks, Haney. Trent?
The crimes listed in this question are really very serious. And if these types of crimes are being committed, I would like to see the prosecution of the perpetrator and it be very aggressive, so that people know when they come to this town and do this kind of thing that they are going to be punished to the fullest extent that we can do it. And I think that in itself will start to deter it. We can change the culture, and we can change the peer area, and we can use basic tools to do that, and I think we're on that path right now. The extra security guards, the extra lighting, the extra officers in the middle of the area, working with the bar owners themselves specifically to reduce this. And if they don't, then maybe we have some sort of consequences associated to it. But it is the perpetrators, it is the criminal that needs to be dealt with severely. And once they get the notion and it's out, and people who come from out of town who are causing most of the crime of this nature, and they find out that they're going to get the book thrown at them, we can turn this around and stop it.
Thanks, Trent. Pete?
Thank you. As I've stated before, there's no crime that should not go unpunished anywhere, and we keep seeing this over and over again. And I know we do take them. I know we take them to prosecution. These stats that we're looking at here are from 2014 and 15, and I know over the last 3 years here, the police department has changed their operations to try to reduce these kinds of crimes. And then we ask, why do we still have a higher crime rate than Manhattan? Well, in Manhattan, most of their establishments close by midnight, so the people say, well, let's go down to the plaza. It's open till 2 o'clock, so we'll finish partying down there. So that's one problem we have. And currently, since this report was written, we have 5 fewer late-night bars in operation down there in the downtown at this time. So I'm sure that helps with the population and then hopefully the crime rate. The downtown really needs a mixed retail and restaurants. The city needs to promote the downtown instead of continually sitting up here and saying how bad it is down there. I think we need to rise up and take our plaza back and our downtown area back. We need to maybe promote family events down there on the weekend to bring the families back down there. But I think it's time that we, the citizens, said, you know, enough's enough. We're going to go down and use our plaza, and maybe that'll deter these people from coming down thinking they can do whatever they want. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Stacy?
Thank you, Al. I've seen all of this with my own eyes on ride-alongs and going myself into the downtown at night. Not necessarily by myself. I always bring somebody. But on any given weekend night, there are fights, there's drinking in public, there's people passed out on benches, there's people urinating in public, you name it. It's happening in our downtown. Our town is a different place after 10 o'clock at night. I'm not a statistician, but you don't need a PhD to see this relationship between alcohol and crime. We should always be striving for ways to decrease this level of crime in our town, and we can do that by increasing the lighting downtown and in the alleys. properly utilizing our cameras in Pier Plaza and our network of home cameras to help identify suspects and help deter future crime. We need to fill our vacant police officer positions. It's a really slow process, but our chief is getting these positions filled as quickly as she can. We just approved another officer a year for 4 years that's mostly funded by grant money for the first few years and leaves us no obligation to continue with them if we can improve this rate of crime in town. And finally, we need to cultivate that relationship that we have with our hospitality association. These high rates of crime don't attract patrons to their restaurants or to our retailers, and I see no reason why we shouldn't be working together on solutions. Thank you.